Welcome to the brief overview of Planet DDS's virtual services, leveraging state-of-the-art technology for better management of your practice. There's three components involved with this, very important to understand each of them. It first begins with people. These are real-life people who are actually a network of stay-at-home workers who have worked at least 5 years in a dental office, who are trained on the phone and who are trained in the practice management software that we use. The second component is the software that we use, and a very important component. In fact, without this component, the rest of it falls apart. The software is web-based, Denticon by Planet DDS, state-of-the-art and as good as any practice management system out there, but very necessary that it's web-based and real-time. As I say, it all falls apart if we don't have that component. The third component is the expertise and the expertise of the people and the expertise of the software that allows this to come together. And at the intersection of all of this is what we call virtual services or outsourced services or remote services or virtual receptionist. In fact, let's start by putting a face on this concept because too many people think that this is all technology. It's not. People are a key component, and in fact we want to put a face on them and a name to those people, and we want to once again emphasize that these workers, these stay-at-home workers, have worked in a dental office for at least 5 years, many of them more than that, and we hire them based on their skill capabilities, and we train them also. One way that we can get this point across concretely to people is imagine if you have web-based software, Denticon, and your best worker couldn't make it to work that day because a child was ill or the weather was bad, and instead of that person being in the office, she could work from home. You redirect all the calls so that she's answering all the inbound calls coming to the office. She has the ability to access your software so she can do what she needs to if people are calling to make appointments or change appointments and so forth. She can handle all insurance, billing, eligibility checking, and so forth. She can make outbound calls. All of this can be done from home, and in fact the people wouldn't know that she wasn't in the office. As I say, you have to give her access to the practice management system, but it has to be fast access, it has to be secure access, it has to be something that she can use just as if she were sitting in the office doing this work. While there are solutions that will allow access to a desktop PC, something like PC Anywhere, they don't work in the manner that I'm talking about, and in fact it would be just about impossible to do all the things that that we're describing that our virtual service personnel can do. I have to throw in the fact that by using an outsourced service like Planet DDS, you didn't have to hire this person. So assuming that she is as good as your best employee, you get the added benefit that you didn't have to worry about hiring her, training her, dealing with annual increases, dealing with benefits, dealing potentially with disciplinary actions, dealing potentially with having to fire that person, and then having to hire again and start the process all over. So all things being equal, why would you hire somebody that you didn't have to hire if everything can be done just as well? The next thing we'll do is identify which tasks you want. With Planet DDS, we give you a menu of services that you can choose from. It can be anything from inbound calls or outbound calls to insurance companies, outbound calls to patients. It can be collections related to insurance. It can be billing related to insurance, billing of patients, collections related to patients. You tell us, and then we work out a plan to work for your office. After we've determined what it is that we will do for your office, we want to sit down with you, virtually, but we'll sit down with you and figure out exactly what it is that you do in your office related to these tasks. In fact, we will probably be more thorough than you are in your own office about discussing this. We want to know everything that is necessary to know. Now, there will be an ongoing contact with the representative that's attached to your office, and in fact, probably daily contact with those people. But nonetheless, we want to know as much as we can up front about how your office runs. And there will be an extensive interview. It's actually several pages of learning how your office runs and how you want to do things and how we can help you. We're just about ready, but then we need to test everything to make sure that that everything is connected. If we're going to do inbound calls, for example, you're going to have to redirect your telephone to our 800 number. So we want to check and make sure that that's happening. We will identify a primary person to answer those calls if in fact that's the service you want from us, and we'll identify a secondary person too. So if the first person is either busy or away from her desk, then the second person will get the call. We want to check that that's working, that that's set up the right way. We want to make sure that the internet connections are good with the virtual receptionists, so that in fact they can get into your office. We want to make sure that there's the right password clearance and so on and so forth. So this is what we mean by end-to-end testing. We'll do this before the go live date. The go live date can be a small thing or it can be a big thing. It depends on how many services you're asking us to do. The more that you ask, the bigger the impact it'll have on your existing staff. So we want to make sure that we've covered all the bases before that first telephone call rings or that first claim is sent on the day that you start with virtual services. And then the last thing is to monitor results, and we give extensive reports. In fact, we have online capabilities for you to get online and see the reports. And we will send you spreadsheets on a weekly basis that are really quite detailed. So this is a brief overview, and we'll have other films that you can view to see specifically how other aspects of virtual services work.